Sitting next to Karine Jean-Pierre. It's an absolute pleasure to sit here and talk with you.
Thank you so much.
Our first black woman press secretary of the White House and the LGBTQ community member, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
it's amazing to watch you work. You know, and when I watch you work and I see you navigate through so many tons of questions about not only national issues but global issues, I wonder how is it that you do it? And I'm curious to how you spend your days. What is a day like?
I have to tell you, first of all, I have to shout out my team. I have an amazing team. It's about 12 of us in the press office, and they prepare me. And then there's also extended folks outside of the press team, like policy folks, whether it's foreign policy, whether it's economic policy, and they make sure I have what I need. They make sure that we have the message of the day, like what is it that we're trying to push forward? What is it that we're trying to talk about? And so I don't do it alone as much as it looks like I'm by myself at the podium, that I'm doing it by myself, but it is an entire team that gets me to where I am able to deliver the president's message, talk directly to the American people, and talk about what is it that we're doing here, at the White House for them, to get things done for them. And that's what the president promised to do, and that's what we're doing every day.
You do an excellent job. Heather, you want to jump in?
Yeah, hi.
Heather.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Heather gave me such a nice big
Thank you.
That sister girl.
Yes, because that's how I feel here. And we
Yeah.
were just literally having a conversation with Keisha Lance Bottoms, and talking about, for me and for her, the first time I remember seeing this place and thinking, I want to get into the White House one day. I don't know how it's going to happen. Do you have one of those moments?
I do. I was very young. It's one of those trips that you take with your families to the White House or to D.C. and you come and you swing by and see the White House and you look up, and it never dawned on me that I would be working in the White House. Because I think especially young women of color, black girls, young girls of color, we're not told that we can be president. We're not told that we can be vice president. We're not told that we can work in the White House. So I think it took some time. It took some time until I became an adult and I realized what it is that I wanted to do, that I can work in the White House. And also, and I say this with all, kind of honesty and real belief in this, it takes other people believing in you as well. I am the press secretary because the president decided that he wanted me to be his press secretary. And yes, he understood what it meant to the country, and yes, he understood what it means to have someone who looks like me at the podium, but he also understood and got the fact that I was ready, and I was ready to do this job, and that I would represent him well. And I don't know if this would have happened with any other president but President Biden. And so that matters as well. Like, who do you have, whose shoulders are you standing on, right? The ancestors their shoulders that I'm standing on, but also who's pushing you forward.
So I have a question. First of all, it's so great to see you again.
Yeah, I've known Mike. We were just talking about it since 2009.
We go way back.
We would go way back. We were babies. We were little babies.
Wow.
And now to see you ascend to where you are, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
I'm
Mike.
rooting for you.
Thank you.
Really quickly, I'm always curious about the role of a press secretary. This administration has shown to be for the people, getting the message out there. How do you split that nuance when you're answering the question for the journalist to break through the noise to get to like the average American?
It is. I mean, sometimes, and I don't know if you see me do this. Sometimes I'll step back and I'll say there are people watching beyond the briefing room that I want the American people to understand. This is what the president's economic plan is doing. This is how it's lowering costs for everyday Americans. This is how we were able to bring down the cost at the gas station. So I always say that. Sometimes you'll see me. I'm looking at the reporters, but I'm like, you know what, guys? I want people who are watching to understand how we are working every day, how this president is working every day, and then you hit those points that matter, that really matter to the American people. You talk about costs, lowering costs. You talk about prescription drugs, lowering prescription drugs. Those are the things that matter to, I know certainly my mom, people's grandma and grandpa. When you're thinking about, all right, my cost, my prescription drugs is going to come down, and so all of those things matter, and I'm very attuned to that, trying to break through and out of the briefing room and to the people who are watching.
Sounds like the president is pulling up in the background.
Very likely.
Thank you for your service to this country and continued success.
Can I say, I wanted to say something to young girls who are watching, and I think it's so important to be bold, be brave, remember, don't ever let anyone tell you that you cannot do something. And while I am the first to be in this job, I do not want to be the last, and we have to continue to break barriers, and that you got yourself, we got you, we love you, and we're going to hold you up.
Thank you. That's amazing. Karine Jean-Pierre.
Congratulations to you, Karine.
Thank you.
For real.